Hello everyone and welcome back to the Revisiting the MCU series, where I'm turning back the clock and revisiting every single MCU film in release order and reviewing them, and at the very end we are going to be doing a list from worst to best of the ranking of the films. And today we are talking about Steve Rogers' first debut in 2011's Captain America: The First Avenger. Now, I will have to admit that I am rather biased, as Captain America is my favorite Avenger, but I did try and reserve a lot of that and push it to the side and just purely base this whole comprehensive review on the fact that this is just a movie, and I'm not going to try and base it on the characters and who I like more and who I like less, Tony Stark. And I did try and remove myself from that bias for the majority of this film, but I did come to the conclusion that this is still a pretty damn cool character and a pretty damn good movie. Let's begin with the Star-Spangled Man with a Plan, Captain America. Chris Evans is an actor who is very familiar with portraying a wide variety of comic book characters, but his portrayal of Steve Rogers is iconic. He embodies the character in so many ways, not just physically after the transformation, but you believe the words coming from his mouth. You believe everything he stands for and is willing to fight for. The villain, Johann Schmidt, aka Red Skull, portrayed by Hugo Weaving, is over the top and eccentric, but also so mesmerizing. I wish we would have gotten more of him throughout the rest of the MCU. The rest of the cast is fantastic, from Haley Atwell's Peggy Carter, Sebastian Stan's Bucky Barnes, Dominic Cooper's Howard Stark, Stanley Tucci's Dr. Erskine, Toby Jones as Dr. Zola, and of course Tommy Lee Jones as Colonel Phillips. There's almost no weakness in the cast, and each plays their part to a T, only adding to the world building and making Cap who he is. It's also a vastly different MCU movie, as it puts us in a different time period other than modern day, such as Iron Man 1 and 2 did, Incredible Hulk, and Thor when he's on Earth. It's extremely innovative, as Chris Evans is imposed nearly flawlessly onto a smaller, scrawnier man to portray a pre-transformed Steve Rogers. I remember being in awe at this accomplishment when I first saw it, and after rewatching it, I still very much was. There are still some scenes where it doesn't look quite right or match perfectly, but I only noticed those after really looking. Captain America: The First Avenger is very bold. It's very stylized and feels like a comic book lifted off the page and onto the screen. It feels like watching the Marvel version of Indiana Jones, and I am in awe and have so much fun watching this movie. The action is pretty good as well, but again, it feels like Indiana Jones, so there is a slight layer of cheese to some of it, but where this movie outshines the previous Marvel films is with the lessons and the portrayal of the ideals of Captain America and what he stands for. I literally get chills when skinny Steve Rogers captures the flag or jumps on the fake grenade in training to save his fellow soldiers. Steve Rogers is a good man and is always doing what's right. It may be a little on the nose for some viewers and could potentially be seen as pro-war or pro-military, but considering that this film takes place during World War II, it's a sign of the times, and I just really enjoy the movie for what it is. Not to mention the Star-Spangled Man with a Plan song is pretty dang catchy. The ending of the movie also gives me chills. When after Steve's death, he wakes up and runs through the streets of modern-day New York and Times Square, only to be confronted by Nick Fury. It's here that the heartbreaking line of Steve having missed his date with Peggy sets in, and we realize that no matter how much super soldier serum Steve has, he still is a compassionate human at heart. If I really had to nitpick as to what I didn't like about this movie, yes, it has plenty of problems, but I think the title is the biggest problem. Yes, Captain America: The First Avenger chronologically makes sense, because in the 40s he was the first Avenger, but we didn't really know what the Avengers was at this point yet, or the fact that they were even building it, other than Nick Fury name dropping it very, very early on in the first Iron Man movie in the post-credit scene. After that, there really isn't much mention of it. Although it's cool, I think the title is just a little bit too long, a little bit too strange. If they would have just gone with Captain America, it would have had the same impact. I mean, it already worked with Thor, Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man, so why not just call it Captain America? We can add those subtitles later, such as with the Winter Soldier, but for the most part, it wasn't really needed. And if you couldn't tell, clearly I love this movie. I loved it when it first came out, and for the longest time, it really was my favorite Marvel movie. Until other movies started getting compiled to the list, and then some things started getting muddled where I did like some other ones more for various other reasons, which we'll talk about those movies later. But this one, hands down, still has some of the best action and most fun elements that I've enjoyed in the Marvel series. But now I'm curious to find out what you guys think about Captain America: The First Avenger. Did you like it? Did you like the stylization of it? Were there certain elements that were just a little bit too much for you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below. Also, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos, including this series, Revisiting the MCU, where we'll finally, at the end, rank them all from worst to best. Don't want to miss out on any of that. But other than that, that's all I have for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.